Why hello all of you beautiful people out there and my loyal minions. It's your hypnogod Mastermind Fred Lee here with another Fred Talk. Now before I begin the podcast, make sure you abuse that comment section by putting down whatever questions, topics, suggestions, anything you want down below so that way I can showcase that or talk about it in the next episode. Now I'm going to answer a couple of questions for this particular episode, one from Instagram and another from YouTube, so let's get on with that. The Instagram question asks, are other magicians joining it? I do have some people in mind for future podcast episodes where I do a little interview and stuff, so keep an eye out for that. And if you got suggestions, that's what the comment section's for. Use it. And then, of course, the other question that I got from YouTube is, are you still doing hypnotherapy and mental consulting? Mental consulting, yes, I continue to do. Hypnotherapy, those that can afford it, I will take care of. But for the most part, I'm focusing more on the entertainment side of things and the mental consulting because that's where my passion lies. And that's a perfect segue to today's topic, myths in hypnosis. I've done a video in the past, but I'd say it's due for a update since it's been many years since then. And some of the points you may find are consistent. Other changes you will notice if you're a hardcore loyal minion that's watched all my videos. Otherwise, get to it. Obviously, subscribe and ring the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos, new podcast episodes, and all that stuff. First myth is that hypnosis must be done in a quiet environment. Obviously, that's not the case if you've seen my channel where I hypnotize a bunch of people in all kinds of situations. And I've even hypnotized people in loud bars where there's literally music blasting in the background, and I make miracles happen. The next myth in hypnosis is the whole, I'm too strong-willed to be hypnotized. There are several studies that have been done throughout the years in various different countries that have determined that there are several factors in figuring out who can and can't be hypnotized and what the constraints and limitations are for hypnosis in general. One of the studies done in the Philippines is regarding intelligence level and how that affects people being able to be hypnotized. Turns out from that study, average to above average intelligence tend to be very suggestible compared to those with lower than average IQs. So in a nutshell, if you have average to above average intelligence, you can be hypnotized. That's why even some of the smartest people I've worked with, I've hypnotized people with PhDs successfully, and this really brings to light how these results still hold up. And I always enjoy taking these tests and studies that I read about and putting them into real world applications just to see whether or not the data holds up. As you've learned from my previous podcast episode of reading certain articles and statistics and seeing for myself whether or not that really holds up, you can check out the previous episode, which is also on this playlist. The next myth in hypnosis is the fact that you have to believe in it to work. Now, I've tested a lot of things on my YouTube channel when I go out and working with people on the beach or wherever I can, and most of the time nowadays it's more of a time constraint, so being able to find places to go out to and hypnotize people, essentially it's coming out of my own pocket. I'd rather do gigs and consult for people because that's what pays the bills, not going out and filming people randomly. It's very opportunistic, so do keep that in mind, followers, subscribers, loyal minions, that I too need to eat. I too need to keep a roof over my head, and gas is getting more expensive nowadays, so do keep that in mind. Now, the whole belief in hypnosis thing, I find that's not true at all. Whenever I go out and work with people, I never mention that I'm a hypnotist. I never say I'm doing hypnosis. I don't talk about the subject of hypnotism in general. Yet somehow, all the people that I work with experience basically hypnosis. I knock them out cold. I make them move their arms or fall towards me, make them forget their name, all that stuff, without saying the fact that I'm a hypnotist, that this is hypnosis. So therefore, I've eliminated the whole belief behind hypnosis working. It's just only a matter of fact after, when I bring all their memories back and stuff, to educate them what really went down. And that's where I let them be the judge for themselves. So the whole believing hypnosis in order for it to work isn't true, as per many, I don't keep track of how many videos I got, probably hundreds at this point. Out of hundreds of videos of me working with people, not mentioning that I'm a hypnotist or saying I'm doing hypnosis at all. Another common question I get asked is, if I get hypnotized and if you walk away, will I be stuck in hypnosis forever? The state that people are in when they are hypnotized, this is known as a trance state. The trance state can be identified as the subject's eyes are closed, their entire body is in complete, total relaxation, and basically anything can and will happen. But this trance state is very neutral. It's like starting your car. When you turn on the engine, you haven't switched gears yet to make the car do stuff, but the engine's on. It's just parked. It's just waiting for you, the operator, to tell it what to do. That's what the trance state in hypnosis is. However, much like super high-tech gadgets nowadays that are biometric, security protected, the hypnotist is the only person that's able to give commands to the subject. Hence why the likelihood of other people telling the hypnotized subject what to do is very low. There's a slight chance where it can be possible. That's if the hypnotist allows for multiple trains of thoughts and different people being able to work with them. But usually it's just a hypnotist working with the subject. Now, back at the subject at hand, let's say, jokingly, there's this Jim Carrey skit that was on an old SNL bit a while ago, like years, decades ago, where I think it might have been on SNL. Anyways, the hypnotist hypnotizes a person, and I think it was Jim that got hypnotized in the skit, and the hypnotist dies of a heart attack. And of course, Jim is just stuck in perpetual state of being a chicken. Now, the whole being stuck in a command state is different from being in a trance state. So, the hypnotic trance, so when people are knocked out and they're sleeping, and let's say the hypnotist walks away, what happens to the subject in trance? Usually what happens is, after a couple of hours, you switch from trance state into natural REM sleep. The body automatically transitions into that, so that way the person will just wake up fine. Everything's hunky-dory and all good. However, let's say a subject is hypnotized and given a command to be a chicken, and somehow the hypnotist neglects his duties and wanders out of the room. The subject, in theory, would be a chicken until the natural switchover state kicks in. Usually it kicks in at about a couple of hours. It honestly depends on the person's circadian rhythm when it comes to just how their sleep habits are and all those factors. Based on that, that's when the subject will naturally either wake up out of it, or it may take longer than others. Worst case scenario, they may be stuck as a chicken for life. Again, each person differs, as I mentioned before. Not all individuals when hypnotized are going to behave the same. They're going to share similar traits, but not necessarily everyone that gets hypnotized is going to be completely, totally stuck in that state and doomed to sleep for all eternity. That's not going to happen. Again, like I say, it varies from person to person. To wrap up this episode, let's discuss the whole, is hypnosis demonic, possession, black magic, all that fun stuff? Obviously, no. The whole concept of black magic and demonic possession can all be stemmed back to the human imagination and all the fables and stories that's been passed down from generation to generation ever since the dawn of humanity and civilization, as well as the belief in a higher system to explain the world at a time where not everyone was able to articulate exactly what caused what phenomena. Hypnosis is also like that even till this day, with the way that the media portrays it, as well as some word-of-mouth based experiences. There's very few instances of accurately documented cases of hypnosis, which you can find a lot of on my channel. Make sure to smash subscribe and ring the bell icon. And that basically sums that up. If you have any additional questions related to hypnosis or anything at all, be sure to fill out that comment section. Make sure you support this series by smashing that like button, sharing these videos, these podcasts, any of the instances of me going out, or some of my live performances where I do certain highlight reels of various events that I do. All your support matters, especially if you have not subscribed. So do that, ring the bell icon. YouTube's been weird. We are going to do everything in our power to beat the system, because there's a lot of instances and many YouTubers are struggling, myself included, on this specific platform because the word doesn't get out. And it's really all up to you. So really do your part by doing all that I stated. If you're ever in the San Francisco Silicon Valley area in Northern California, make sure you check out my shows. At the time of this recording, there's one this Saturday, October 1st. And also there's the November and December shows. All the details you can find at fredleemind.com, which also has the link in the description down below. Again, I can't thank you guys enough, and I really appreciate you all for everything that you do. Thank you all so much, and thank you for coming to my Fred Talk, and I will see you guys in the next episode, which is every Sunday morning.